Hey, what's up guys? It's Cody with StillPhotographyAL.com. So I'm going to do a video on buying your first lenses. When I was first getting into photography, I didn't know anything about lenses, what lenses are better than others. I just had no clue what was going on. So I'm going to try to clear that up a little bit for you. So when you're looking to buy your first lens, actually let me go a little bit farther back than this. When you buy your first camera, okay, you're either going to have two options. A lot of cameras, especially entry-level cameras, they come as a kit. So, for example, you might buy, a T3i and it comes with an 18 to 55 kit lens. Let me just go ahead and tell you this: the kit lenses that come with your camera, they're not the best lenses, and now they're perfectly fine for learning. They're perfectly okay for getting into the basics of photography, but really you're going to want to get away from your kit lens as soon as you can. Okay, now that we've kind of established that, one of the first things you want to ask yourself is, what kind of photography do I want to do, or what kind of photography do I enjoy doing? Do I enjoy doing landscape photography? Do I enjoy doing portrait photography? Because that's going to have somewhat of an impact on one of the first lenses you buy. Or maybe you're just doing, maybe you're just doing photography on the side, you enjoy it, and you want to have one good lens to take with you on vacation or something like that. That's absolutely fine. So we're going to kind of go through a little bit of everything. Now I understand that lenses can be really, really expensive. And keep in mind, guys, when I'm talking about all this, just trust me that having the best gear does not make you a better photographer whatsoever. But some of the first lenses that when you're thinking about buying some of your first lenses, just keep those couple of things in mind. Say you're a landscape photographer. Okay, so therefore if you like landscapes, you would want to maybe purchase a wide angle lens. If you like doing portraits, portraits are a lot more flattering when you're using a little longer focal length, so you might want like an 85mm. And like I said, I understand that lenses can be really expensive when you're just starting out. So it seems like when I was starting out, I just couldn't understand, how a lens was $2,500. And, it was a lot. And I saw the pros, shooting with the 7200s and these 7200, and it frustrated me incredibly because, a month after I started shooting, I wanted these lenses because I thought that it would make my photography better. But so a couple of lenses, I'll just talk about one or two lenses that you guys, that I can highly recommend. First of all, there's two different kinds of lenses, by the way. There's prime lenses and there's zoom lenses. Now, prime lenses, what defies the two is prime lenses are one fixed focal length, okay? So you can't zoom in or out with a prime lens. So, and then a zoom lens, you can obviously zoom out like a 24 to 70. That's going to zoom from 24mm to 70. And then also in different lenses, say you're getting out of your kit lens, one huge advantage is to maybe get a 2.8 lens or even a 1.8. What you're going to gain by that, it's going to give you faster shutter speeds in lower light for freezing action, for blowing out the background. If you drop that aperture down, your background's definitely going to start blowing out. It's going to start letting more light in, and that's going to give you a lot of advantages in photography. So like I said, try if you can to move out of the kit lens as soon as possible. It's perfectly fine for learning, but I wouldn't recommend staying with it for a long period of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this lens right here. When you're first getting into photography, this lens, for lack of a better words, can be a game changer for you. I highly recommend this lens. So what is this lens? This is the Canon 50mm 1.8. I think this lens is like $134, but it's going to do so much for you when you're starting in photography. So what are some of the things this lens is going to do for you? Well, for one, it's going to force you to get off your butt and start moving a little bit more because this is a prime lens. It doesn't move in or out. It's one fixed focal length. Okay, so it's going to make you compose. It's going to make you really think about your shot. It's going to make you compose your shot. You can only zoom in or out with your legs, so you're going to be a lot more, active and involved in the photographs you're taking. And another huge thing this lens is going to do for you is it's going to get you out of the 4.5 or the 5.6 aperture. And it's going to drop you down, like I said, this is a 1.8. So that's going to let in a lot more light. That's absolutely huge. Okay, and so it's going to blow out your background. It's going to get your shutter speeds up. This lens is just absolutely amazing. And I highly, highly recommend it buying it when it's one of your first lenses. And, you know, I think, you know, and some people say, well, when do I know I can move on to another lens, or, you know, how long do I have? You know, that's really up to you. But I highly suggest what you want to do when you're starting in photography is get one lens to start with. And once you know everything about that lens, then I think that it's okay to move on. It's not uncommon for, I mean, it seems like when I was starting, I got the 50mm and I left it on my camera for 3 months, and I didn't shoot with another lens because I wanted to learn everything about that lens that I could. So what is a lens like a 50mm good for? Well, it's good for a lot. You know, there's no complete rules or anything in photography that says you have to have a 16-35, which is what we're shooting on right now, by the way. It's an absolutely fantastic lens. There's no rules that says you have to have a wide-angle lens for doing landscapes. You know, it's all about you and your creativity. You can shoot landscapes with a 50mm lens. You know, they recommend that you shoot portraits and stuff with a, you know, 85 or 7200, because you know, a 7200 with that focal length, it will help you blow out that background, and it just looks absolutely fantastic for portraits. But a 50mm lens it's kind of, the focal length is what's closest to what the eye sees, okay? And it's really just a great all-around lens to start with. It wouldn't be considered a wide-angle lens, especially not on a crop camera. And what I mean by a crop camera is, now I'm not too sure about the Nikons, but I know that Canon, they have two different kinds. They have like your T3i, your 60D, and your 7D is going to be a crop sensor camera. What that basically means is the sensor inside your camera is going to be smaller than, say, your 5D Mark II, your 5D Mark III, your Canon 1DX. And so the crop factor for your lenses is going to be 1.6. So if you have, what's the math on that? Let me see, I've got my iPad right here. So 50mm on a, well, if this is going to pull up, my calculator is not, oh, I did an app update. Okay, that's new. Let's see. Let me get out of that. I can clear that out. Okay, so like a 50mm, and then you're going to do it times 1.6. 50 times 1.6 equals, not 4,000. What did I hit wrong? Okay, 50 times 1.6 equals. Okay, so I should have known this, but I was just showing you. A 50mm 1.8 is going to be, say if you have a T3i or 60D or 7D, those are crop sensor cameras. So this is going to be an 80mm lens. So this is going to be a pretty long lens. Now, if you were shooting on like a 5D Mark II or a 5D Mark III or something like that, a 50mm is going to be a 50mm. Same thing with, you know, any lens that Canon makes. So keep that in mind. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but I highly, highly recommend that lens. It's absolutely awesome. So different lenses, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. Different lenses, you know, they'll give you different results as far as what you're shooting. Say you want to buy one really, really good lens that you kind of want to have, you know, an all-purpose type lens, you know, then I would recommend like a Canon 24-70 or a 24-105. There's basically 3 sets of lenses that ultimately I highly recommend that you guys end up with. It's a 16-35, it's a 24-70, and it's a 7200. So that pretty much covers from the 16mm to the 200mm. Now, I'm not saying just go out and buy all these lenses. Definitely master what you have first, and then slowly you'll grow into these lenses, learn the purpose of each lens, and kind of just max out what you can do with it. Because, you know, it's just kind of endless what you can do with different lenses. And you know, there's people that shoot landscapes with 7200s all the time, and definitely just break the rules. You know, don't follow what a lot of other people are telling you to do. Do your own thing, and if you love the results that you're getting and other people love the results that you're getting, that's all that really matters. So guys, I hope this video kind of helped. Make sure you guys email us. You can email us directly from our contact page, or just go to your email. Our email is stillphotographyal@gmail.com. And guys, make sure you email me with any questions or comments that you guys may have that you want to see put on the site. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye.